Hi friends, it's me. And I'm going to ask you a question. Could you guys tell me how many of you use a plastic straw to drink coffee, Coke, iced tea, or even water? That's right, a bunch of you probably do. And I can tell you more than 500 million tons are used every single day around the world, which means we just make a lot of waste. And let's wind up all these straws end to end. If they were more than 500 million tons, we would wrap the earth 4 times or more, depending on how many tons there are exactly. So now think how much waste we used. And the earth is obviously so big. So the main thing is we need to stop the plastic. But when did it all start? Well, in the 1950s, people made a lot of straws, metal, but we were looking for ways to make it cheaper and faster for customers and easier for the manufacturers. And then in 1960s, manufacturers and companies had the answer: plastic. We thought it wouldn't be as harmful as it is, but only did we know we would use it so much. And the main thing is the oceans. In 2018, you must have seen the video. The video went viral of the cruise people taking out the straw in the turtle's nose. And it was heartbreaking to see all these marine animals. And they were just really sick of all of this. Let's take a bird, for example. Some seagulls and different birds, they rely on plastic as their food. And later on, they're actually starving. Even though they think the plastic was their food, they're starving because they have no space for their actual food, like seas or fish. So we need to think about how this impacts them and its nature. But then think about the seafood we eat. A lot of the seafood you eat is already having the microplastics inside it, which means we eat plastics. But let's go back a bit. What is a microplastic? It's a plastic that never degrades, because plastic actually never goes away. You see, we take our clothes, they have a place to go. Our closet, they have a place to go. But plastic never goes away. And a lot of people have a great proposal that actually might work. A lot of people just say, well, let's create a boundary. The plastic can't go further in the boundary, of course. And then we'll just have some organizations or scientists, they'll go and swoop up the plastic. What's wrong with that? The problem is microplastics are so small, they can actually go through them. And in fact, they're so small, we can't always see them. In fact, they're even tinier than a centimeter. Maybe even a millimeter. So we need to think about this really carefully, because the seafood, if we eat seafood, we're also eating plastic. And take the fruits, for example. When we get the fruits and vegetables that are wrapped in plastic, some of the germs and the bacteria and the toxins go into our food. They leach into our food. But then let's go back to the straws. Should we ban them? Well, we have the straw, right? We might go toss it towards the garbage, but most of the time it goes, instead of the garbage, it goes through the drain. And the drain with water goes to the lakes and to the rivers and ends up in the seas and the oceans. And that's where all it gets started. So if we already have so much plastic, we should really stop. In fact, I can give you a bunch of examples. All these plastic straws are plastic. This magic coin slider. This yarn has a bit of plastic. This foam is almost completely plastic. So we really need a good solution. And a lot of you probably know your 3 R's. Reduce, recycle, and reuse. But what about 5 R's? Rot, reduce, reuse, refuse, and recycle. First, let's go to rot. A lot supposed to do? Let's just throw it in the garbage. And we're forgetting something. Compost. We can throw it and compost it to make even fertilizer. Then we go to reduce. Let's reduce the plastic. It's so simple. Just say stop. That's it. Then go to reuse. And we just need to reuse it until. And finally we go to refuse. Let's take the plastics that we really need. Electronics, cars, we need some of it. But what about the things we don't? Let's also recycle. And a lot of that we can make it so we can make it again. And in fact, even though it's expensive, it might be just the right solution to stop. And we can also use other things like, let's use metal straws. Metal straws are a great other proposal. And other companies like Starbucks have introduced a new lid without straws. Yes, it does use a bit of plastic, but it will stop the straws. And McDonald's have done everything they can to use no straws. And other places have completely banned straws. So after all, let's just say no to plastic and help our earth be more clean. So let's just say no and have fun. Bye, and let's stop it all. Bye, and let's save Earth.